Give me a second to find this video. I want to talk a little bit about Lumeria, the third eye, what those geostorms and energies are doing with our third eye currently with this eclipse. So I'm going to try to fit a lot in here. I'll give it a minute so people can find us. I usually will download and get ready for my videos, and I was kind of digging around in the, I guess you could call it the Lumerian Akashic, and I'm doing my usual, getting ready for my video and doing some downloads. And these were very important places for our soul at one point in time, and I have to think about it. I'm trying to think about what we got taught in school in terms of history. And a lot of the times, stuff I remember would be learning about their wars, learning about things that were, promoting separateness and things like that. I think it's really important that we're getting back to an understanding about places like Lumeria, Atlantis, Egypt, because they were very important to our soul's Akashic and the evolution of our soul and where this journey has really started and began. But it doesn't surprise me that there's a lot of covering up of our history around here. Well, why would that happen? Why would they be covering up our history? Because we have such a galactic connection. We have such a galactic connection. And then people would have to kind of admit about things like that. Hi, good morning. I'm just getting started. I'm going to talk about Lumeria, the third eye, and this eclipse. So there's a lot of covering up our history because they don't want us to understand our divinity, our extraterrestrial origins, and things like that. So this would have been somewhere very, very important to our soul's Akashic. We see that a lot of information was hidden and wiped out. That was part of their master design, that they could get rid of hide all of the information, the real history of humanity, and we would all be asleep and have no idea and kind of be lost furtherly in their illusion if they got rid of all of this knowledge. Well, the problem with that is that our souls were there. So your soul would have memory of these past places where it lived. It was part of the soul's evolution, coming from source, experiencing a group consciousness, and then, going a little bit further and going more into the ego identity and things like that. So it was all really part of it. But our soul's kind of coming full circle right now. During Lumerian times, I like to picture it like a light body existence. And that's what's really happening with the energies hitting this planet. They're purifying us, they're making us lose density, and we're getting back to more of that light body existence slowly, and back to those type of frequencies, which would have existed on a group consciousness. It's really important to understand that your soul would always come here with a group consciousness, that you don't do this alone. But when you're, not vibrating on your authentic frequency, you're going to get cut off from that. People have tried to find these lost continents and spent a lot of time looking for them. I don't believe that they were places that would have existed in our physical reality. They would have been places that would have existed, in other realms of existence or other dimensions. How do we access these other dimensions? Our third eye. Our third eye is our gateway to other dimensions, other realms, other places of existence. So, for a long time, our third eye has been shut down with things like chemicals, garbage food, programming, and stuff like that. And, it really disconnects our spiritual software. A lot of people are noticing that this eclipse could be making you sleepy, that it affects the melatonin levels in your third eye. And as it is doing that, it is activating these receptors in your frontal lobe. It's having a very profound impact on our physical body right now. I look at this almost like an energetic reset that is meant to push us into higher frequencies. These eclipses are powerful for our spiritual evolution. You can see there's kind of an effect happening on the planet. So what does this mean? Well, melatonin will regulate, your sleep cycles. When it becomes dark in the middle of the day, even if you're not seeing this reset, it's having a global effect. And it's affecting your third eye, creating a reset, right? A lot of you guys might be having more profound dream experiences. Maybe if you meditate, you're having more crazy meditations. Maybe just feeling a need to go within with all of these retrogrades. It's meant to stop like stop everything. You can see the energy on the planet is usually, really crazy and flowing, and then all of a sudden it feels real quiet on this planet. Like there is an energetic reset occurring right now. I'm going to give you guys a little exercise I thought would be fun in this group to do too, to see more about if you were in Lemuria possibly and get some of those memories back. So I'm going to go into that real quick because I've been kind of all over the place with these classes, and I have people like, oh my god, I didn't know these are paid areas. You guys should know that these are our premium areas, so there is an energy exchange yearly. It's a one-time fee for the year, right? For this year, we keep going through. If you guys need that information, there's a pinned post. And that makes it so that, I'm available to be getting this content up. So if you haven't taken care of that exchange, see the pinned post. A lot of people are like, oh, where's our teacher in these spaces? Well, a lot of people haven't been doing their end of this agreement with their energy exchange. So for sure, see the pinned post if you haven't. All right, how do you know if you were a Lumerian starseed or if you lived in Atlantis? If you're listening to this conversation, that is a good indicator that you probably existed in these places. It's just the journey of the soul. I look at this very like we're all one, law of one. Personally, it was part of the journey of your soul, that your soul would have been in these places, and they would have been beautiful places, that we existed on much higher frequencies and in oneness. The problem with, I talked about this last video about going into that group consciousness a little too much, that people didn't have their own personal identities like we have now, right? Everyone feels kind of stuck in these ego roles, but this is what we wanted to experience on a spiritual level, this illusion of separateness, so that we could, learn more, pick up more experiences. So, when people were in this group consciousness setting, they weren't evolving rapidly like we are here with all the negativity and separateness and stuff. We're learning fast, right? We're growing, we're evolving. And so this was part of the journey of the soul, but we've always been, destined to return back to that, group consciousness, return to source, return to the light, call it what you want. Good morning. If you guys are meditating, you guys should probably meditate on your past life in these places. Sometimes, everyone has different abilities. Not everyone is going to see things visually. Sometimes you'll go meditate on it and you won't get anything. And guess what? You could have a dream later. You could see a post on Facebook that is about this topic, answering your question later, right? It could just be like someone's talking to you randomly and starts to talk about this topic. So intention is really powerful for retrieving our past life memories. I've, done a lot of work with the past Akashics and things like that. So if you guys are going to be meditating later, maybe meditate on your past existence in Lemuria. And like I said, it might not come back that second, but it probably will in another way. The first step to this is, we have to have a desire to retrieve this information on a soul level. So if people aren't asking about it, you're probably not going to get, that past life knowing back on some level. It probably should be a lot of what you're seeking here. It helped me a lot to understand the journey of my soul, like my past Akashic, so I could understand who I am, because I always say there's always a disconnect between the girl I am now in this life, like the video girl doing videos and I'm doing the ascension healing, and there's a big disconnect between who my soul is on every level, how I ended up here on this journey in the first place, and there's kind of like this disconnect occurring. So it can really be very helpful to you to explore these past Akashics so that you can understand better what led you onto this journey. This planet would have come from a galactic origin in these places. And that's what they've tried to cover up with our whole history, right? On every level, they have, distorted things around here and kind of led us into their version of reality. And if we look at this version of reality, it's a lot of separateness, pain, people suffering, and things like that. So, these were higher levels of consciousness, like I said, where people lived in oneness and in alignment. And what they did with their time was to, go after this spiritual knowledge and continue their quest for learning. Yeah, set your intention for past lives, for sure. It should be areas you guys should be trying to dig into so that you can have a better understanding of your soul. Because this life is a very small, picture of who you are on a spiritual level. Your Akashic is so vast. You have had so many experiences as a soul. And so many people get hung up on this journey, not even understanding. These are just experiences that our soul needed to push us into this ascension. The lessons that we went through didn't really have a lot to do with us. And the experiences that we had asleep, we had less control over them. People have been led to believe, right? They were just kind of programmed experiences that we needed to wake up and complete our ascension. So we had really hard lives this life to ensure that we would wake up. This is very important, that we're here and we're present and we're awake and we're aware on whatever level. Oh, good morning. Yeah, if you're tired, I'm talking about these geostorms can really affect our third eye, and they can make you really sleepy. I've probably been sleepy for like a week. I've been more off-grid, less available for people that are needing me, right? Cool quote of the week, right? So I know that a lot of you guys are healers too, and people will come to you when they're tired or need Reiki or need love, right? Make sure you guys are taking really good care of yourself right now. We have a lot of lessons that are coming up for closure, old things surfacing, so that we can heal them once and for all. Alright, a lot of you guys are drawn to crystals from past lives in these places. We see a lot of crystal technology making its way back with this ascension. I am nothing but excited as to where the future of this planet is going, because we see a lot of this, I guess you could say, extraterrestrial technology making a comeback. Whether it is crystal technology, scanning technology, there's a lot of that making its way back to this planet. A lot of you guys might be drawn to work with crystals. We kind of touched base on this last week, but since it's a full moon, it's a really good time to go into this again. Crystals are powerful. You can set your intention for anything when you're making grids, right? You can use them for anything. They can help you retrieve information too. You can ask your crystals to help bring back your past life memories and things like that. You can do Reiki to retrieve those kind of memories. There's a lot of things that you can do to get past these blockages, and these are blockages that are causing us to not remember this stuff. So we want to keep going with our journey. Make sure that you guys are using crystals. I just did a really good cleansing on our house too, because it is a really crazy full moon energy. We have this eclipse energy about to hit. So make sure that you guys are cleaning your house too. It's really important when you're trying to bring good energy in or lift up the frequencies. Another little hack I have is that you guys can set your intention before going to sleep to see things in your dreams. I'm huge on using the dream state to gather information. I found there's a lot less of that ego veil there, right? In the other realms, that stuff doesn't exist, right? If you ever have problems with people in this dimension, sometimes you see it's different in the other realms. If you ever have any of these dream recollections, you can set your intention to retrieve information that way. It doesn't have to just be past lives. It can be any kind of information you're wondering about. You can ask, Source or your higher self to show you things in dreams. That works really good for retrieving your past life memories. Some of you guys are really into cards. I look at things like, cards, crystals, I guess psychedelics, as tools that we can use to access consciousness in different ways. Learning how to do cards was really powerful for me because it helped train me how to tune into these energies, so now I don't need the cards. So I look at things like Reiki symbols, cards, crystals as like training wheels to help you connect with the spiritual. So sometimes, you guys can be doing cards on these things too, on yourselves or other people, right? Cards are powerful for tuning in. If you guys have questions on anything, love it. We're talking spiritual stuff, right? I just wanted to share some good vibes with you before I do my video. Send some good vibes. It's a really good time. You're getting your third eye worked on, so I just wanted to make you guys aware that we're going through a lot of upgrades. We're going through a lot of etheric body upgrades, right? And I have to be like, I'm pretty good with healing, but I'm like, oh, I know that the light body makes up all the bodies, right? And so we're going through some etheric upgrades. It's going to be affected by your physical body. As these old timelines are crumbling and things are happening and you're going through these intense physical upgrades. And a lot of people are noticing you could just be more tired, like you have a flu, aches and chills, like you have flu-like symptoms. It could be headaches. I have a lot of people coming to me that are having headaches. I kind of classify these in two ways. Some people are having, frontal lobe, third eye type headaches. Probably your third eye is expanding. If you're around some type of toxic energy when this is happening, pay attention too. That could also cause third eye headaches. If you're having crown headaches, either top, back, this could be a crown expansion. We have several chakras in the head that, you know, a lot of people aren't even aware of until this stuff is coming back online. So you guys could be having pressure anywhere in your head. The physical body is changing, like on every level. Like your head is going to expand, it's going to grow in certain areas. And this is a process. This is why we can't do ascension overnight. That's why it's very important that you're choosing the ascension path now, because a lot of people won't be able to later. So it's really important that, you know, you're just staying in alignment with who you are spiritually. There's a lot of things that are falling in, the things that are not in alignment with us spiritually right now. It's always about frequency around here. Oh, I love it. I'm reading the comments. I love it. It's always about frequency around here. So the things no longer serving you are falling in. A lot of people are at kind of in between worlds right now. Getting glimpses of the new earth, or, you know, at some times like in that bliss and samadhi and those high frequencies, and having a harder time maintaining it with all this energy coming in. And a lot of people are kind of in between. This eclipse is meant to come and be a bridge between states of consciousness. So we've kind of been in this weird kind of gateway since the last eclipse, and this eclipse will bring a lot of closure. And whenever we have closure or an ending, we have a new beginning. So it is bringing a new energetic cycle with it, one that'll last the rest of the year. We have some powerful energy coming up too with next month's energy too. So we can expect this energy is going to kind of intensify going through these gateways. So, get lots of rest. If you're tired, pay attention to your dreams, the number codes, the magic. Pay attention to your intuition. This is about getting into our spiritual senses, right? Things aren't always what they seem. Sometimes you have to feel things to process them. You know, sometimes you just have a knowing. Pay attention. You guys should be really psychically tuned in right now. With these moon energies, you should feel like intuition on point, like really, really tuned into your spiritual GPS. So, you know, if anything, your psychic awareness should feel really on point right now in these energies. Stay positive, stay manifesting. This is like a full moon times a million. So we are harvesting, you know, the seeds and intentions that we put out 2 weeks ago with that new moon. But try to really stay positive through these energy shifts. It's a really good time to be cleansing your space, you know, putting out manifesting vibes, doing grids, doing baths, getting outside, connecting with nature. We know all the weird stuff comes out too with these full moons, and since we have Mercury in retrograde, we have a lot of people are like having old friends or exes come back into the picture. Make sure that you're not trying to go backwards. You know, when we're done with our lessons, they leave and we're meant to go into new lessons. This is Earth School, so make sure that you guys are not trying to look backwards and that you guys are staying aligned with, you know, the now and the future too. Alright, I'm going to be letting you guys go. Pay attention, though, to everything happening around you. You guys might want to do some meditating on past life stuff. Give it a try. Let me know how it went.